Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy, the conscious coon killer, killing the coon within me and the coon within you. Now, you see the video title and the thumbnail, everything like that. Just kind of want to talk about uh, this whole tokenism that happens a lot with us as black people. We have a lot of white people, a lot of white feminists, to be exact, for this video, to kind of talking about them in particular. But this kind of can go in general with the dominant society, just in general, right? So anyway, I've seen so much time and time again with famous black people, just black folks in general, how anytime they can kind of put us in the forefront on something to make themselves look good, like for example with Lizzo, her being a heavier set black woman, it's like okay, so they're kind of killing three birds with one stone, if you will, when it comes to the whole body image thing. It's like, oh, look how accepting we are as white people or as white feminists or just whatever when it comes to her as her size. We're gonna prop her up. Look how great we are. Look how nice we're being, and because we know how much heavier set people are discriminated, which I'm not saying that they aren't bashed and things like this. Even the ones who are working out, trying to lose weight and become healthier, a lot of times still will get bashed, right? I'm not saying that there isn't any struggle, that there isn't people that have thyroid problems where it might be hard for them to lose weight. But because of this, they'll prop them up and be like, oh, see, look how nice we are. This person's heavier set, but we're putting them on a magazine and calling them beautiful, all this stuff, and they're black, so we're not racist, and they're a woman, so you can't say we're sexist. See, look how nice we are. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. You found one heavyset black woman and you're over here applauding her and praising her. Okay, so can we as black people get our tangibles now? Where them tangibles at, right? When you're like, where is something that's actually going to benefit us as black people as a society and what we are owed from all of this racist terrorism when it comes to us actually getting what we're owed so that we can build something. All of a sudden these same cats are quiet. You can't find them, right? But 2 seconds ago they was woke, they was allies, whatever word that you want to use, right? When it comes to them propping up certain black people and being like, look, see, we love all heavyset black women. So you can't say that we're being sizist or racist or sexist or nothing like this. And it's like, okay, cool. So what are you doing as far as giving us what we're owed so we can use these resources so we can help black society in general to get healthier and to help us get our racial justice and to help gender equality, especially for black women specifically, and black men as well, because we get messed over in the justice system for being black men. So just the whole nine is black people when it comes to these categories, right? Once again, talking about Lizzo, I don't know her sexuality, so I'm gonna leave that out. You know, and they're quiet, and it's like, these are just empty tokenism, uh, little symbolic prizes, if you will. Well, they'll just plaster a black person up and be like, oh, well, look, we're giving this black person this uh, prize, if you will, to be on this magazine, or we're calling them beautiful or saying that their music's great. And they may mean all of these things. I'm not saying that, right? But how is that actually benefiting black society on a tangible, concrete level? How is that ending racial oppression, gender inequality within the black society? How is that bringing racial justice? To put somebody like Lizzo, for example, on a magazine or whatever like this, right? You got these feminists out here trying to defend her for twerking with their ass literally out. Y'all already know, she cut a hole out of her dress with a thong on, twerking at a basketball game. You got these white feminists applauding that, saying, oh, this is body positivity. Because they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to be called racist because she's a black woman. But she's a woman, so it's like, oh, this is woman empowerment. This is a woman taking control of her body, right? And it's like, okay, So if you're so for black women and black female empowerment, how come you white feminists barely ever talk about the fact that amongst women in the United States, they are the vast majority of women in prison. The vast majority of women proportionally. I'm talking about proportionally, not raw numbers. Obviously, there's way more white women in this country than black women, but percentage wise, there's way more black women in prison, proportionately speaking. What are they doing to fix that, to even spread awareness to things like this, to the 75,000 black women and black girls this year alone that have gone missing, been funneled into sex trafficking, all these types of things? I know I haven't really made a video particular on that, but y'all know all this stuff is going on, right? Kidnapping our women and our girls. You don't see these white feminists speaking up about that. But when it comes to these symbolic trinkets with somebody like a Lizzo, it's like, oh, this is something easy to make me look good real quick because she's a heavy-set black woman. So let me just knock that out real quick and applaud her and support her at whatever she does, whatever kind of behavior, whether you like it or not, whatever your opinion's at. I'm gonna go ahead and applaud it because I don't want to be labeled as a racist or a sizist. I'm over here screaming gender equality, but I'm a white woman, I'm a white feminist, so I don't want somebody to say, hey, wait a minute, you're screaming about gender equality. What about this racism, though? Right? Which is what they try to do with us as heterosexual black men, and things like this, calling us the white supremacists of black society and all this type of stuff. But then when you try to call them out as white women and talk about how the founders of feminism, the white women that started that, were white supremacists, like Margaret Sanger, for example. They don't want to talk about that stuff though. They want to celebrate the roughly 100 years, or coming up on 100 years of quote unquote women getting the right to vote in the United States in 1921, but it was just white women. And when you highlight that and you correct them and you check them and you tell them, like, look, no, that was white women. If you want to celebrate white female history, go right ahead, but don't say, oh, this is a win for white women. It's been roughly 100 years since women have gotten the right to vote. It's like, no, that was white women. And they try to act all confused, like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, wait a minute. How come black people in the 60s were still fighting for the right to vote? Well, you know, there were feminists that were with them, that were in agreement of the civil rights movement. Okay, that's cool, but you understand that in that first wave, that those white women were fighting for themselves. They didn't give a fuck. In fact, they didn't want black people to vote. See, but you call these types of things out because these are their idols, these are their foremothers, right? Call these types of things out, they're quiet. But then they try to counter that by, like I said, throwing somebody like Lizzo on a magazine or whatever the case may be, to try to see, like, to make themselves look like they ain't what they actually are, right? And it's just something that I noticed. And so just notice these reactions from certain white people when it comes to the actions of Lizzo out here twerking during a basketball game when there's children around and all this type of stuff, right? Just watch the reactions to that, but then just keep on cold and be like, okay, so what about them tangibles though? And watch how quiet they get, watch how confused, quote unquote confused they get, and all that type of stuff. And then watch them start to play dumb though, all of a sudden. When you call out that white women were the ones that invented feminism, and they didn't invent feminism for everybody else. And when they want to brag about, oh, well, I'm an intersectional feminist, I'm about fighting for all women's rights. And it's like, okay, cool. So if feminism itself was always so great and had no level of prejudice or racism in it, how come intersectional feminism wasn't there day one? How come this had to be created in the third or fourth? Really, we're in the fourth wave now with social media. But either way, how come that wasn't around in the first wave, the first phase around the early 1800s, or excuse me, the late 1800s, early 1900s, around that time? How come they weren't talking all that stuff then? They get quiet. Even really in the second wave, they started trying to get black women on board, but as we all know why that was. It was a divide and conquer between the genders in black society. That wasn't really like, oh, hey, black women, we ain't forgot about you. It was like, oh, you don't need your black man. Just let the government take care of you while they run back to their white husbands and shit. But we already know about that part. But yeah, that was just something that was on my mind. I just want to spit that out here real quick. But yeah, as always, it's your boy, the conscious coon killer, killing the coon within me and the coon within you. Peace.